In Part 1 of Lecture 1, we discuss basic digital design. Digital logic hides the problems that we can face working in an analog world. In a digital world, you have to add a lot to 0 to have it confused with a 1, or take away a lot from a 1 to make it look like a 0. While you might imagine little 1s and 0s surfing on electrons, that's not how it works. There are two different ranges of values used to represent 1s and 0s. These two ranges are called low and high, representing 0s and 1s respectively. This chart shows the different physical states that can be used to represent 1s and 0s. Pneumatic logic uses fluid pressure to indicate 0s as low fluid pressure and 1s as high fluid pressure. What these low and high pressures are would depend on the particular system. Relay logic was used in earlier generations of computers. An open circuit indicated 0, and a closed circuit carrying current indicated 1. TTL stands for transistor-transistor logic. In this case, a voltage of 0 to 0.8 volts is used to represent 0, and a range of 2 to 5 volts represents 1. CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductor. It is a form of transistor-transistor logic that uses lower levels of electric current, saving energy. It makes it easier to design portable devices. It is currently used in most integrated circuit technology. Here, 0 to 1.5 volts represents 0, and 3.5 to 5 volts represents 1. In fiber optics, 0s and 1s are represented by light off and light on, respectively. Similarly, in dynamic random access memory, they are represented by a capacitor discharged or charged. Magnetic tape and magnetic disk uses the magnetic flux pointing toward the North Pole for 0 and flux pointing toward the South Pole for 1. Compact disks used no pits for 0s and pits scattering the light for 1. A combinational circuit is a logic circuit whose output depends on and only on the current inputs that are presented to it. Its operation can be described completely by a truth table. The truth table needs to list all the possible combinations of inputs and the outputs that are produced for each set of inputs. Here you see a slide where we have a truth table for a function that has 3 inputs, x, y, and z, and one output, f. The 0s indicate false and the 1s indicate true. When x, y, and z are all 0, f is 0. When x and y is 0 and z is 1, f is 1. When x is 0, y 1, and z 0, f is 0. When x is 0, y and z are 1, f is 0. When x is 1, y is 0, and it doesn't matter if z is 1 or 0, f is 0. When x and y are both 1 and z is either 0 or 1, f is 1. In this way, we can completely describe the function, and we can write an equation for it. Here you can see the various logic gates that we can have in a circuit. At the top you see an AND gate. If A and B are both 1, it will produce an output of 1, otherwise an output of 0. An OR gate will produce a 1 unless A and B are both 0, in which case it'll produce 0. An inverter will take whatever single input we give it and give us the opposite. If we put in a 1, it'll produce a 0. If we put in a 0, it'll produce a 1. Below that is a buffer. Without the little circle in front, all it will do is put through whatever we had there. If we gave it a 1, it'll produce a 1. If we gave it a 0, it'll produce a 0. NAND and NOR are the opposites of AND and OR. The little inverter, the little circle they have at the end, in front, indicate that we're inverting the signal. So in the case of NAND, if A and B are both 1, it will produce a 0. Otherwise, it produces a 1. In the case of NOR, if it gets both 1 for A and 1 for B, it will produce a 0. Otherwise, it'll produce a 1. XOR is exclusive OR. As long as A and B differ, it'll produce a 1. If they are the same, it'll produce a 0. The exclusive NOR rather, is different from that. If A and B are the same, we get a 1. Otherwise, we get a 0. This slide shows the truth tables for AND and OR. In the case of AND, when A and B are both 0, AB is 0. When A is 0 and B is 1, or when A is 1 and B is 0, again, A and B is 0. Only when A and B are both 1 is A 1. In the case of OR, it's a different story. If A and B are both 0, A plus B, or A or B, is 0. If A is 0 and B is 1, or A is 1 and B is 0, A plus B is 1. And in the case where they both are 1, A plus B is 1. In this slide, you see two truth tables. On the left, you have A and A prime. A being 0 leads to A prime being 1. A being 1 leads to A prime being 0. In the other case, you have A and x equals A. This is going through what is just a buffer. A being 0 leads to x being 0. A being 1 leads to x being 1. Here we see truth tables for NAND and NOR. On the left is NAND. AB, all in parentheses, complemented is A NAND B. You'll notice that when A and B are both 0, or A is 0 and B is 1, or A is 1 and B is 0, A NAND B is 1. Only when A and B are both 1 is A NAND B 0. This is the exact opposite of what you would have with A and B, which is exactly what it is. In the case of A NOR B, you'll notice that in the case of A and B both being 0, A NOR B, A plus B, all in parentheses, complemented, will be 0. In the other three cases, where A is 0 and B is 1, A is 1 and B is 0, and A and B both being 1, A NOR B gives us 0. This is the exact opposite of what we would get for A or B, and again, that's exactly what we would expect. Here we see the truth table for XOR and the exclusive NOR. For XOR, when A and B are both 0, or A and B are both 1, A XOR B is 0. For the two middle cases, where A is 1 and B is 0, or A is 0 and B is 1, you'll see that A XOR B is 1. For the exclusive NOR, it's the exact opposite. When A and B are the same, 0 and 0 or 1 and 1, in parentheses, A XOR B, close parentheses, prime, is 1. When they're different, it's 0. Here you can see the circuit for a given function. You'll notice that there is a line coming out of both x and y that goes into a gate, and what's marked coming out of it is xy, because both x and y are going through an AND gate. X and y, you'll notice, are split. with x going down into a NAND gate and coming out as x prime, in other words, x complemented, and y goes through a similar NAND gate that becomes y prime, y complemented, and these two are ANDed together with z to produce x prime, y prime, z prime. The two products go through an OR gate to produce the sum xy plus x prime, y prime, z prime. In this circuit, you'll see that I have x at the top going through an inverter to give us x prime, y similarly going through an inverter and giving us y prime. This goes into an AND gate where it is met with a branch of z to give us x prime, y prime, z. In the middle, I have a branch of x prime going into the AND gate, a branch of y going into the AND gate, and again z, giving us x prime, y, z. In the bottom, I have a branch of x and a branch of y prime, giving us x, y prime. These collectively give us x prime, y prime, z, plus x prime, y, z, plus x, y prime. Here you see x going into an AND gate, y going through an inverter into that same AND gate to give us x, y prime. A branch of x goes into an inverter, and the x prime resulting from that goes into an AND gate. Z goes directly into that same AND gate to give us x prime, z. These go together to form f, which is x, y prime plus x prime, z.